Good afternoon, and welcome to the Town of Surf City regular council meeting. We're glad to have you here with us this evening. If you would stand and join us in invocation, Nathan Swartz is going to come up by Chapel by the Bay, and it will be followed by John Koloski leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray together. God, we're grateful again for the opportunity to see your goodwill at work at our great town. We thank you for the opportunity to be a part, to be able to pray and support. We pray for the mayor and the town council, the staff, directors, and all those that have their hands in helping our town as we continue to move forward. And we are just grateful to be able to take this time to pray and ask for your good guidance in the midst of all this. Man, we love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Remove your hats if you have any on. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we have a Beautification Enhancement Committee Awards, and I think Richard Vessa, that is on that committee, is going to come up and lead us in our presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here today. We have business of the month, the people from CalFin. You want to come on up here and join us up front here? As you know, every month we look for a business that we can honor and recognize their efforts within the community and what they do. And of course, CalFin has been with us for quite a while here in town, and if you've never eaten over there, I would recommend it. It's the greatest food there is, and the service is wonderful. And they always do their best to reach out to the community and to make their businesses shine. And I will have a certificate for you tomorrow. But other than that, so again, we appreciate you, and if you folks see a business in our area that stands out that you'd like to nominate, present that to the Beautification Enhancement Committee, and we'll certainly take a look at it. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If the owner would like to say a few words, she's more than welcome to. You turn that there you go.
This might fall. All right, how's that? That worked? Well, just want to say thank you to everybody, the whole community, for showing the support and all the hard work we put in to bring this to the this Christmas stuff to the county and the city, and we just we're glad everybody's able to enjoy it. We thank you guys for the award. If you haven't been there, come by and see us. We'd love to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Richard, if I may say something. I was there last night, and when I walked in, I was like in a different vibe. But when I got in and you just look around and you see all the decorations, and Santa was there, and then the music was playing, it just puts you in that Christmas spirit. So we appreciate all the work you've done because it looks fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. So again, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
We have 1423 North Shore here. Home of the month? No. We will be seeing them tomorrow when we do pictures and certificates in. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Richard. At this time, we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143.318.11A5, real property acquisition.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say sign. Motion to approve. At this time, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented, amended, sorry.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Before we move any further, I would like to get a motion to excuse Jeremy Shugarts from this meeting.
I make a motion to excuse Jeremy Shugarts from this meeting.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to excuse Jeremy Shugarts from this meeting. Next item is approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the consent agenda. We are now at public comments, and the citizens now have an opportunity to address the council for no more than 3 minutes per speaker on topics. So I will turn it over to Carla to call up names.
John Kennedy.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My concern is with the electric bikes on the sidewalks in our streets. I tried to pull out of Ace Hardware the other week. I looked up and down the road for cars coming, and it may have been my lack of interest to look on the sidewalks for an electric bike to come down. But I almost hit that bike. I know it's hard to figure out how these bikes are classified. They ride with no helmets. And I drove truck for years. I know they're going over 20 miles an hour. And a lot of them are under the age of 16. They're supposed to be wearing helmets. I'm just worried about the safety of the riders of the bike, and also if one of those bikes hits one of us, who's going to pay for the damage on our vehicles? I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you.
Can you state your address, please?
140B James Avenue.
Thank you so much.
John Ripley.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a former employee. I was able to work for you for 7 months. First of all, when I started work, we got these t-shirts. This is an old t-shirt that Ed had. This is the only t-shirt we got. Skeeved me out a little bit. I'm just asking the council, could you put money aside for some new t-shirts? I've worked for places where we shared it, if that way the employee didn't abuse the t-shirts, but I just wanted to address that. I'm going to try and get through this. I'm going to wing it because there's so much, but again, I'm from a small town in upstate New York. Me and my wife worked very hard to have a sliver of paradise here in Surf City. We appreciate you guys letting us live here. Unfortunately, while I work for you, I felt that I have been harassed, my age, my place of origin, sex, and retaliation. This was written in my notebook by Ed Matistic. His handwriting, he admitted to it. I'm going to leave that out there because it's very offensive. This is my wife's notebook. This is her personal notebook. It's her handwriting. Ed could not keep his hands off my notebook. 4 different occasions, he took this notebook from me. And this is what he finally wrote. First thing in the morning, he took this out, showed it to everybody. They laughed. I'm not going to show the people in back because it's disgusting. They laughed. All the employees laughed about it. Stuff like this masstates into other problems. I've seen it in other places. It's very disgusting. So, I'm here because I feel that you have a serious management problem. I had a meeting with Miss Lydia the that I left. The meeting was just, I felt that my employment wasn't going the way it was. I wanted to know what more I could do for the town. She assured me that there had been no bad reports. Nobody in the town hall has said a bad word about me. And that I should talk to Ed and Chris Carter. Unfortunately, that's where I had some of my issues. And my time is already up, so I don't know what to do. As Charlie Kirk says, when you stop talking, that's when bad things happen. I never got an exit interview, nothing. I'm hoping somebody will talk to me about the things that happened here.
Mickey Tucker?
Unfortunately, Mr. John, we are not able to discuss personnel issues. Mickey Tucker.
Good afternoon. Mickey Tucker, 1222 South Shore Drive. After just hearing that, this is very minuscule, very small. But my concern, and I'm going to tell you why it's my concern, I've already spoken to a few of you personally, the Christmas lights, and it's so nothing. But what I'm hearing on the street, let's get rid of the whole board. They don't hear us. They don't hear what we're saying. We told them last year we didn't want snowflakes. We got the more nautical lights, but there are hardly any on the island where we, the residents, live. From Gilligan's to the roundabout, there are 8, one on every telephone pole. Nobody lives there. That's the entrance to the town. They're mostly on the causeway. From CVS to Gilligan's, there's about, again, 8. But during the really dark area there, what I'm hearing, and I feel I'm disillusioned with the council. What I'm hearing is, let's get rid of them all. They don't hear us. They tell us they want to hear what we feel, what we think, yet they're not. I know many of you personally, and you know I like you, love you, and I want you to stay with Surf City. Please, when we say something, please listen to us. From the roundabout on the island to my house, which is 1.25 miles, there are only 2. That's 1.25 miles, only 2 lights, and one is the darn snowflake. Thank you.
All right, this time we will move on to our first public hearing, and is the annexation of the Medlin-Dawson-Sidbury, and Carla Citarelli will present.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a petition to annex 2 parcels by Doug and Kathy Medlin. The PIN numbers are 4236-217186-0000 and 4236-218182-0000. Together, approximately 1.05 acres off of Highway 50. Again, owned by Doug and Kathy Medlin. We've run the ads, found everything to be sufficient. Public hearing to determine annexation. The planning board's recommended neighborhood business for both of those parcels. And if you have any questions, either I or the Medlins might be able to answer that.
Thank you. This time, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing, Mayor.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open the public hearing. At this time, if you have a public comment that you would like to address, ask questions, you're more than welcome to do so. Does anyone have any questions concerning the public hearing on the annexation of the Medlin-Dawson-Sudbury tract? If we do not have any questions concerning the annexation of the Medlin-Dawson-Sudbury tract, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing, Mayor.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Public hearing is closed. It is requested that the town council consider approval of the annexation as presented. Do I have a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented, Mayor.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the public hearing on the annexation of the Medlin-Dawson-Sudbury tract. Item number 2 is the annexation of the CLH Building LLC Harvey. Carla Citarelli.
Thank you. This one is PIN number 42267416820000. This is a approximately 1.3 acre tract on the southeast corner of Perkins Drive and Highway 17, owned by the CLH Building Group LLC. Found to be sufficient petition. Ad has run. Planning Board has recommended a C3 zoning. And they're asking for annexation.
Thank you, Carla. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing for the annexation of CLH Building LLC / Harvey?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open the public hearing for the annexation of the CLH Building LLC / Harvey. Now is your time for public comment. If we have any public comments at this time, you have your time to come up and ask questions concerning the annexation.
With the C3 zoning, just that being one of the primary entrances to where our K-8 school is, there's a lot of traffic at different times of the day. Is there anything potentially in C3 that wouldn't be advantageous for something that close to the school?
I'll call upon Jeremy Smith, our town planner, to address that question.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. As you're aware, the C3 zoning district is our highest intensive zoning district for commercial uses. Your biggest traffic generators are quick serve restaurants, drive-through restaurants, or potentially gas stations. There are some environmental issues on the western side of this property that could limit development fully for a large gas station, but the potential is there if it's just a blank rezoning, a standard rezone or a standard zoning for C3. Those are the ones that come to mind as the highest traffic generation. Again, they would be subject to any approvals required by the town and NCDOT.
Does anyone else have any questions concerning the annexation of CLH Building LLC / Harvey? Now is your time if you have any questions concerning the CLH Building annexation / Harvey. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Yes, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to close the public hearing. It is requested that the town of Surf City consider approval of the annexation as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the annexation as presented?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the annexation as presented. Next up is conditional rezoning with Sumter Inc. And at this time, I will allow Jeremy Smith, our town planner, to present.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. The item before you is a conditional rezoning request submitted by Sumter Inc. for a property located at 101 Sea Oaks Drive. Notice the screen before you is the vicinity location, again at the corner of Sea Oaks and NC Highway 50. The conditional rezoning request is tied to a concept plan that proposes a 9,000 square foot, 3-story multi-use building. The concept plan shows several zoning ordinance compliance standards that will also be reviewed during site plan approval if the rezoning is granted. This application again has been submitted by Sumter Inc. On behalf of Sumter Inc. by Charles Riggs and Associates, the surveyor. Along with that concept plan, there are multiple conditions that they are proposing. That this would be a 3-story multi-use structure tied to first floor uses being limited to office and retail only, and that the second and third floors would be residential. That the structure shall have fire sprinkler and alarm, and that a cross connection shall be provided to the adjoining northern property. And in this case, that would be Gilligan's. Moving on to the current zoning of the property. The current zoning is C3, as are all properties north, south, east, and west of this property. To the north, again, is Gilligan's bar, drinking establishment. Directly across NC Highway 50 is the future home of Cape Fear Seafood and Rutopia Surf Shop, and the adjacent shops to it to the south. Directly across Sea Oaks Drive is Topsail Island Realty. And then further behind to the west is the Sea Oaks Business Park. Before you on the screen is the future land use map from the town's comprehensive land use plan. This property, along with all others, is identified as neighborhood mixed use. Before you on the screen is the concept plan that shows the location of the building, applicable zoning standards, landscaping, and parking. TRC has reviewed this and passed it along to the planning board, who heard it at their November 13th meeting. And they, along with staff, are recommending approval, finding that policies 4.1Q, 5.1I, 5.1J, and 5.1X of the comprehensive land use plan support this rezoning. I would go on to show proposed elevations for the building if approved. These may be modified to more adhere to our standards, but these are just as the concept plan, concept in nature. Representatives of the applicant, Charles Riggs' office, and staff are ready for any questions the board may have.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Entrance and exit to this property is on Sea Oaks,
Only Sea Oaks.
not on,
No, sir. And DOT has, they normally do not provide comment on rezoning, but they shared their comments, and again, it's a non-access on their system road, so no comment.
thank you.
How many units?
3 residential and 3 office or / retail units on the bottom, and then 3 residential above.
3?
Yes.
One large one on top?
The residential on second and third floor.
And what's the parking for?
I knew I should have had a bigger map. I apologize. Again, trying to be efficient. It is the minimum required, at least as they've laid it out. They have not taken advantage of any compact spaces. The residential units require 2 per unit, so that would be 6 for the residential, and then the remaining would be split among the office and residential, or office and retail, I apologize. And forgive me while I look that up real quick for you.
It's 2 spaces per residential unit if it's 3 bedrooms or less, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if they are more than 3 bedrooms, then they would have to come up with
We would have to
additional parking.
reevaluate the parking if they change differently. I apologize about that.
All right, before we go any further, I need to, I know Council jumped in and asked some questions, but let's make a motion to open the public hearing.
I make a motion to open public hearing.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. At this time, it's time for public comment. If you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to come up and ask your questions or concerns. Charles Riggs is coming up. He is the representative for Sumter Inc.
That's right. Charles Riggs, 502 New Bridge Street, Jacksonville. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. I'd like to clarify the units themselves. We've got commercial on the first floor, and then we have 2 residential on the second and 2 residential on the third. Okay? We, at one time, the numbers he gave you was a preliminary plan. And of course, that would give us, and we meet the parking requirement of 16 with that number. We are proposing engineered stormwater plan in the parking lot. Of course, this is a concept plan, so we've not pursued those technical items. We are connecting internal access to the adjoining property, Gilligan's. So there'll be a traffic pattern going through there. We're proposing as Jeremy stated, we are proposing the fire sprinklers and the alarms at the recommendation of the fire chief. Water, sewer, and stormwater to be engineered, internal vehicular access to the northern adjoiner. I have spoken to the adjoiners in regards to their comments, and they were favorable with the project. They were concerned, like all folks are concerned, with parking. There's never enough parking, but we do meet the minimum parking requirements here. We did provide some renderings that showed the necessary architectural features. So we've already prepared that. And we know that in the past there's been some flooding issues in this area, but we feel like development of the property and the engineered stormwater plan that will be prepared will handle those issues. Be glad to answer any questions you might have of me.
Are you doing a pervious surface then for your parking?
Yes, and we have that on the plan.
What type of business will be available to occupy the ground floor?
We have the office and retail only.
Okay.
We're not going to have a bar because there's a bar next door, and we don't want we don't want a business that's going to have high traffic volume due to the parking situation. We are in a flood zone shaded X, which is not a special flood hazard area, which is really unusual to be located in that area and be a flood zone X, which helps, with the project.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns that Charles Riggs or anyone from the town can answer? Now is your time to speak. If you have any questions or concerns about this project during this public hearing, you can come up and speak.
We appreciate your consideration.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no other, okay. Yeah.
Just one point I would definitely want to answer Councilwoman Hawley's question. Again, as Mr. Riggs said, that I apologize on the correction. 4 residential units on the above, 3 retail office units on the bottom. That would be a total of 8 spaces for the residential above, and then 8 spaces for the retail office below, for a total of 16. Meets the minimum requirement. Now, they could take advantage of some compact spaces and maybe gain 1 or 2, and we will decide that. If this is approved, we will look at that at site plan review. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Given that it's mixed use, is it, do you see where parking spaces kind of are allocated, essentially deeded with the residential space so that there's plenty still for the commercial since you're set up like this?
So much like a shopping center, most ordinances are set up that you cannot reserve parking specifically for one. That parking is for all. But because this is a mixed-use building, the landlord could say that these 8 spaces are dedicated to the residential because it is then divided up. If it was just all resident or retail office, that would be a different answer. But because of the mixed-use category, they could designate 8 for residential parking only for the tenants there, or permanent residents, or how it works.
Anyone else have any other questions concerning the parking? Or any other matter concerning this project for the conditional rezoning of Sumter Inc.? If there are no other public comments, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, Mayor.
Yes, I'll second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Public hearing is closed. It is requested at this time that the town council consider approval of the conditional rezoning as requested. Do I have a motion to do so?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the conditional rezoning for Sumter Inc. Thank you. Next item is another public hearing for conditional rezoning. This is the Station Morris. And Jeremy, again, with our planning department, will present.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. The fourth public hearing for tonight is a proposed conditional rezoning to RM5 conditional zoning district. This would be a proposed rezoning from R10 residential. Notice the vicinity map for you, the location on NC US Highway 17. Some of you may recall this property being annexed earlier this year. This request is being submitted by Jeff and Noni Morris under JLM Morris Enterprises of Hampstead. They have a concept plan they have submitted as part of this request that shows 417 RV campground sites that meet the minimum 1,800 square foot standard of our RV campground park standards. They are proposing to do this in 2 phases, a phase 1 of 240 sites served by town water and septic, and a phase 2 proposed 177 sites served by town water and town sewer if available. Additional conditions they are proposing on this submittal is to limit the use just to recreational RV park, recreational vehicle, and campground per Appendix A of the zoning ordinance, Section 5.7 accommodation uses. Provide a 20-foot natural buffer all around property lines with a shared natural trail. Submit a traffic impact analysis at the time of site plan review that will be scoped and reviewed by NCDOT and town staff. Phase 1 again shall use town water, town of Surf City water and septic, and phase 2 would be sewer and water. They will also need to submit a recombination plat, making this all one property. It is currently 2. And then all standards shown on the conditional rezoning plan. And we'll get to that momentarily. Again, this property is zoned residential 10, as is the property to the north, or both of these properties are zoned residential 10. Property to the south is residential 10, undeveloped. To the north are properties zoned C3, some owned by the applicant. The lone outlier is owned by Coastal Car Care. There is property in Pender County's jurisdiction zoned residential performance. To the northwest is the currently under construction Evolve Apartments. Then it is bound by C3 zoning to the north. There are multiple properties in Pender County's jurisdiction that tie to this that are zoned residential performance. The Campbell Land Use Plan identifies this property as mainland residential. Properties to the northwest are zoned or identified as neighborhood mixed use. Properties to the south are identified as regional mixed use. Properties to the south are identified as neighborhood mixed use. However, the majority of the properties to the north, east, and south are identified as mainland residential. Before you on the screen and in your packet is the concept plan that shows layouts of potential privately maintained drives. These are individual RV campground sites. These are not platted lots. These would not exist as individual lots. Per our ordinance, these would not be permanent residences. They would be short-term in nature. This does not impact the school system because, again, they're not permanent. One question that we look at from a staff level is enforcement. How do you enforce it not being permanent? This is one site. It'll have one mailbox. There will not be a cluster mailbox where individuals could receive mail. We'll work with the property owner on an enforcement mechanism of maintaining an occupancy list. You know, and again, it's just like policing with an annexation, fire and coverage with annexation. Additional development requires additional code enforcement, so it'll just be on our daily routine. With all that said, the planning board reviewed this at their November 13th meeting, and they, along with staff, are recommending a rezoning of the 82.56 acres from R10 to C to RM5 conditional zoning with policies 3.2A, 3.2K, 5.1A, 5.1G, and 5.1I of the comprehensive land use plan supporting the rezoning. Mr. Charles Riggs and the Morrises are in attendance, and they, along with staff, will be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
I have one quick question.
Yes,
I think
sir.
I know the answer, but I just want to clarify. The dotted line that's coming across the middle, and it's kind of shaded green to pink. I assume that the larger section is phase 1.
Yes, sir. The blue is the phase 1, and the pink would be the phase 2.
What were those numbers again?
For the phases,
Yeah, number of units.
417 total units.
Right, I got that.
Phase 1 would have 240 sites, and phase 2, 177 sites. I would be amiss to say that per ordinance, at 82.56 acres, they would be, if this were zoned outright R5M, they could have 1,650 sites at maximum development. Again, layouts of internal drives, amenity sites, wetlands, and their future septic areas will regulate that.
What was that total number again that could?
1,650, and that's just at a raw 20 units per acre. 20 sites. I keep saying units, it's 20 sites.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open the public hearing for the conditional rezoning the station/Morse. This question, do I have any public comments?
We have Hunter Young.
Good evening, Council. How are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah.
I actually got a chance to sit down with Jeremy before the meeting, who answered pretty much all of my zoning-related questions, but I did want to point out a couple potential issues with this site that will be coming down the road in a TRC and site plan approval. How he currently has it set up is a septic system for the first 280 lots. For an RV park, that would mean a septic system at each single lot, or all in a community system running to a drain field, which is what I think their plan is. My concern is that drain field is going to come right around to our property line, and it will stink very badly for our future residences. Again, I don't have any idea of what their...
Excuse me, can you state your address, please?
17 US Highway 17.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So yeah, I was just hoping to get a little bit of clarity on where's the stormwater going, because he doesn't show any impervious in the RV lot areas that is shown, in the drive aisles. Those are just shown really what looks like housing lots. So no impervious is shown there. So I'm concerned about the stormwater and where the septic drain field will be on this site plan. And with speaking with Jeremy, you know, most of this stuff would come up during the site plan approval process because they are not using Surf City sewer. That septic system will go to Pender County, and it'll go there and only there, and then you guys will have no say on that matter in terms of where this septic drain field goes or any of the requirements of it. Thank you.
I can address a couple of those, and otherwise I will lean on Mr. Riggs and Mrs. Morris to answer the overall intention of the septic design. But as far as impervious surface, yes, the driveways will have to be paved. They have a standard to meet. However, our ordinance does not require the RV campground sites to be paved. They could use gravel for the pads for any RV sites. And again, these wouldn't have to all be RV sites. They could be campground sites where you would pitch a tent and camp, and then access one of the two bathhouses that are proposed on the project. As far as septic, there are different ways to handle that. Again, we do have to rely on Pender County Environmental Health to review that, and that will impact the design and layout. But at the end of the night, the concept plan is requesting 417 total sites in 2 different phases. But I will let Mr. Riggs address any septic questions.
We're just here for rezoning. We're not here for a site.
No.
Site plan.
This is not a site plan. This is a rezoning tied to the conditional plan, tied to the conditions they are proposing, and any that are worked out tonight with the board and the applicant. But it is not the technical review. And I've let Mr. Hunter know that our TRCs are public, and he's welcome to sit in on that and offer any comments or anything at that time, and see what the impact is. They're not public hearings and stuff, but I invite anyone to attend the TRC meetings.
If they're phase 1 is set to use town of Surf City water and septic system permitted by Pender County. So how do they hook up with Surf City water? Does each spot have a separate line? Is there one line that goes to all the different?
I would let Mr. Riggs, maybe he can address that, because we haven't got to that engineering part yet. That would be, again, part of the site plan. Or Mr. Price may be able to share some info on it, but Mr. Riggs may be the better.
Charles Riggs, 502 Newbury Street, Jacksonville. In response to Mr. Hunter, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Well, his property is to the west of this site. And if you look at the drawing, you'll see that there is a good-sized buffer between our RV sites and his property. That's a wetland area. See that green area? That's wetlands. So he was concerned about how close the development would be to his property. So there's a good, nice natural buffer there. We are going to have a natural walkway all the way around the property. Also, the first phase, we have it as private septic and Surf City water. I don't believe Surf City has availability for sewer for us at this point. So we put a maximum of RV sites on phase 1. This is a concept plan. We're asking for rezoning based on the concept plan. If we get approval tonight, and I'm hoping that we will, then we will proceed with the surveying and engineering of the property, topographic survey. The soils have been evaluated, and they are suitable for septic. The amount of density for that will be determined with each phase. So we may have one septic field that handles 10 lots in a row, or 20 in a row. So you might have individual septic fields out there that would be conventional septic fields. Same goes with stormwater. The stormwater would be evaluated, and it would either be a high-density stormwater project or a low-density stormwater. Low density is based on percentage of impervious surface. We are trying to make this an environmentally friendly project, so we'll be locating all the significant trees. We're making our RV sites larger than what is required. I think the average for this entire project is just under 5,000 square feet per site. So, and I think the requirement's around 1,800, 1,850. And as was stated previously, we're only placing 5 RV sites per acre versus the allowable 20 sites per acre. So we are trying to make this an environmental friendly project. So with that being said, once we get approval, we would spend the money and do the engineering and the surveying to create the proper sewer and septic and stormwater. We have all those questions answered. And they would be reviewed during site plan review with Jeremy.
So these are not permanent residents.
They are not permanent.
They will have no impact, which I know we have no control over, but they will have no impact on our schools.
That's correct. Let me also say that the handling of the RV sites are going to be handled much like the beach cottages. They may rent it for a week, they may rent it for 2 weeks, they may rent it for a month. That's how it's going to be handled. And the actual structure to maintain that they are not permanent can be handled through some procedure that we and Jeremy can come up with.
Is there a maximum amount of days that they could rent?
We've not determined that at this point.
Yeah, okay. And that would be up to Jeremy and the...
That's right. Well, like I said, it's going to be handled much like beach cottages. You might say a week, you might say 2 weeks.
Would that be accommodation taxes and such that the town can, I mean, well.
No,
yeah.
Accommodations tax gets applied to actual beds. So if they were building cottages on each one of these lots and somebody comes and rents the cottage, then the town collects accommodations tax. But since it's transient in nature for RV, we do not collect accommodations on that. And to speak on the duration, there are building code requirements on RVs, and you can't have an RV established more than 180 days, or else it's in violation of a building code. So there are additional parameters tied to length of stay.
I believe that there is sales tax that can be applied.
Sales based on the rental, of the transaction. I'm going to stay for a week, so there's sales tax that would come back to the town, gets collected by the state, distributed to the county, and then the town.
What percentage of the sales tax do we keep in that regard?
No, I couldn't answer that off the top of my head.
Glad to answer any other concerns you might have.
I want to circle back to the septic.
Okay.
That west side line of the property where the wetlands are designated, and I want to say I'm correct on this, but typically the drain field is not going to, that's the soil, the closer you get to that wetland, the less likely that's going to perk. Is that an accurate statement?
Not always.
Okay.
If you have great relief or great elevation change in areas, normally the soils on the slope are suitable soils. But, we're going to make sure it's permitted properly through Pender County.
I don't think there'd be a scenario where the drain field would run into the wetland.
Oh, no. I didn't say it would run into the wetlands.
No, and I did too, and I wanted to clarify.
Right,
With that
yes.
buffer, I'm just trying to go back to Mr. Young's question and his, not only did he mention about it being close, but he was concerned about an odor, and if you have that separation and the drain field's not going to go in that wetland. Anyway, I'm just trying to say it feels like it would mitigate some, that the distance would be there to mitigate that for him.
And we certainly don't want to have an odor because, you want the RV sites to be attractive.
You want people to come visit.
So.
One last thing, and you already answered a couple of questions I had written down. And we've talked in the past in some of the other meetings. Is there a designated plan on how you're going to identify your tree preservation and whatnot, as far as I know you're working for green space and trails, or is it just going to be, hey, this is kind of where it fits and we're going to keep as many trees as we're going to? Is there a designated plan?
We're going to locate all the significant trees that are normally required, and then place our RV sites around those trees in conjunction with our septic fields.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, I have a question. So we haven't determined, and that'll be determined later with planning, as to what the function is going to be. I just have this in my head. I guess it's North Topsail Beach has a park, trailer, I won't say trailer park, RV park to the right down New River, And I just noticed over living here for the years that the people leave, but all their belongings and all, it's like the sites are leased to them. Is this going to be the same type of thing?
They're
Or
just,
we haven't determined that yet.
well, they're just going to rent an RV site.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand what you mean about their belongings.
I don't really know what the name of the park is, but you see it when you're driving down New River. going-
Surf City Campground.
Yeah, the campground.
Even though it's in North Topsail Beach.
Right, it's called Surf City Campground, I guess, but it's in North Topsail Beach. But, you know, the layouts, the people's spots are, I guess, leased or reserved because they pack up, they take their unit out of there, but all the stuff is still left there. Benches,
I believe they're
chairs.
actually owned in some fashion.
I don't know, that's what I'm trying,
Right.
but we haven't even
That will
determined
not
that
be-
yet.
It will not be like that here.
Okay.
In fact, that was one of the conditions or on the plat here is that the entire site will be in one ownership. And that these sites are only being leased or rented.
Okay.
Based on, you know, short term.
I thought so, I just want to throw it out there, you know, because when the season's over, that stuff there, it looks like, you know, a bunch of stuff.
Right.
It's left there, it's not.
I understand.
Pretty unsightly.
There's no scenario where we're building porches and decks and.
There will be nothing above
Stuff around
ground.
a
There may be
camper.
pervious patios or something of that's, you know, ground level.
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, but
because
you're
when they-
not going to
when they leave,
see
there's-
above ground decks.
Okay.
You may see your fire pits here and there, but you're not going to see any improvements other than the RV or the tents themselves.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
How do we, if phase 2 is set up to potentially use Surf City sewer if it's available, but phase 1 is on septic, how are you going to go about then running septic back into phase 2? Or sewer?
That would be engineered at that point. At that point, we would have easements. As a surveyor, I would say that, let's say you have sewer on Highway 17, you would run your trunk line in from Highway 17, and, you know, you would have your lift station within the property to get the sewer out, to pump it out.
If sewer
But-
becomes
If
available,
it becomes available, yes.
yeah, phase 1 would have to connect.
Oh, you're asking if phase 1's going to connect? Well, we haven't anticipated that, in that it's not available now. We need to move forward with our project. That's why we were asking for septic. So, if you could Surf City could give us a timeline on when sewer may be available, Mr. and Mrs. Morris may consider that.
The way I see it is we've got a really large tract that is currently zoned R10, which is less dense communities with homes where we're either going to get real property value off of it. I don't see where the town benefits from this, and it's a lot of concrete and coverage and 400 plus vehicles coming in and out of our community kind of consistently when we already have issues with traffic and everything else. So that's kind of, I like the fact that it's not billowing into our schools, but at the same time, there's a lot of stress that this is going to put on a lot of our other infrastructure like roads and traffic and.
All right. Well, let me say that the benefits that I see is that I feel like this will fill a need for Surf City. There's a lot of people that need campers, that want to stay in campers. They can't afford beach cottage, but they might be able to afford this. The transportation is primarily going to be on Highway 17, which is your corridor. So we're not flooding the remaining streets of Surf City with traffic. Now, if their cars or whatever may be going to the beach, but they'd be going to the beach anyway. So we're not putting a burden on the sewer system. So I really think it fulfills a need of the citizens of Surf City.
I don't know that the citizens of Surf City are going to take an RV and go a couple miles up the street. I don't know that that's.
I think it
Well,
fulfills
when
the
I say
need for
citizens
people
of
that want to
Surf City,
visit Surf City.
I'm not just talking about the ones that are paying tax. I'm talking about the ones that visit here, the ones that come here.
Well, but then saying that the traffic was going to be there either way, but people can't afford to rent a beach house, but they can afford to have an RV and go stay there is kind of a moot point too. They like.
Well, I mean, there's.
It is what it is. You're putting 400 more vehicles onto Topsail Island during our peak seasons. Most of those people, I would assume, would be here during summer months. Not all of them. I personally feel like it's too big of a project for us right now with the amount that we have going on.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So they come in, I have my RV that I drive, I go to state, I go to campground to campground. I park my RV. I don't disconnect that RV and drive into Surf City with it.
You're not.
I'm going to take an Uber, I'm going to just stay in it and enjoy where I am. You know, if I decide to take it into Surf City, I'm going to take it on an Uber or something like that. I'm not going to drive a 36-foot RV across the bridge and then try to figure out a place to park.
There's lots of different things you can do. You can have an RV that pulls a car behind it that you drive around. You can have a fifth wheel.
Yeah, but you can't say all of these people are going to have that.
Yeah.
Let me also say that, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. I mean, we want to move forward with, with developing plans, but we need to make sure that our zoning is in place first. So we have prepared a concept plan, which is allowed by the rules, to come up with a plan that we feel is feasible. The concept plan shows the maximum density that we are proposing. So once we do all our developing, all our plans, we may come up with less. We won't have more, but we may have less.
But how do we guarantee that that's what happens without you coming back with a plan that shows less on it?
Oh, we can come back with a plan that shows less because this approval will give us this density.
This approval is for 5 per acre, not 20 per acre.
That's correct.
20 per acre is what is allowed currently.
This request is for
But this is only 5.
the total that we have shown on the site. It would
It's
not,
currently zoned R10 as well. It's not zoned for,
that's correct.
so technically you have one house per 10,000 square foot lot.
That's right. So
as
that's
it
4 an
stands.
acre. And we have 80 acres. That would be 320 houses.
But that's 320 houses that we get revenue off of as a town. This is going to impede our rental infrastructure, which is, I get, there. I'm just playing devil's advocate, which is my job to do up here. We're not getting accommodations tax out of it, and that's a hard pill to swallow for me.
You are getting a real estate tax. You're not getting individual real estate tax.
You're getting real estate tax on a large tract of land that has little development to create value other than your community properties, so.
Well, I'm not a real estate appraiser, but I do know that if you get 400 sites on here, the value of this tract of land with 400 sites is more than just a tract of land when it comes to real estate tax. So you will be gaining money from real estate tax.
I'd like to share one thought. There's pros and cons and everything, obviously. I think the pros for this, particularly in my opinion, outweigh the cons. I think you got a scenario where you don't impact schools. Let's say it is a weekend. I don't know. I can't imagine at the RV camp, but we've not, or RV park, we've not talked about it, and I don't want to get into the business model. It's not going, I can't imagine it's going to be designed like the rentals where everybody has to show up on Saturday. So they'll trickle in and they'll come on 17. I really like, if we're going to have an RV park, I like it, the location where it is. Everybody's going to come in. They're going, the guests that want to come, they're going to know what the traffic pattern is. If they don't learn it quick, they'll learn it soon enough that you don't try to come on and off the island on Saturday between 10 and 3 in the summertime. One thing I do like even, and this kind of hits close to home with me, is, and you mentioned it before, that not everybody can afford a beach house. Not everybody can afford to rent a hotel. But it gives the people, and I have family that have campers, this is what they do. It gives them affordability to come visit what we have and take part in what we do and enjoy the beach and be able to have that experience. I don't know that I want to exclude anybody from that.
Thank you.
I'm glad to answer any more questions or concerns you might have.
The 20-foot buffer is that's depth of the buffer?
Yes. Now, on the west side, we have the existing wetlands and also to the south. And there's an existing easement along the eastern property line. So there's more than just 20 feet of buffer around the property. We have separation between the units themselves and the adjoining properties.
Would you all be open to changing from the septic to sewer if that's a conversation that we can have with Price and try to get some sort of a timeline. And would this come in as a residential request then, or a commercial request? If they wanted to get on sewer for phase 1 instead of septic?
Well, that would be a David Price question about the residential or commercial.
The RV park, and Price, you can confirm, but it would be considered as a non-residential in accordance with the wastewater allocation policy.
Do we have availability in this to be a commercial use for sewer?
We currently have 68,000 gallons. I'd be glad to do the math. Now, I'll have to see a site plan to get a calculation on that. Since it is transient, it is counted differently than a normal house. Typically, it's about 50% of a normal one, similar to a hotel, in the way it's calculated. So I won't be able to get you that exact number. But my main concern is we have several items, several contenders for what's remaining of that, the non-residential batch. And we do it first come, first served based on site plan approval. So I would hate to commit to this particular plan here tonight when there's several other contenders that can beat them to site plan approval.
That would max out our commercial, the other ones that we have in line?
A couple of them will. Not everybody's going to get on. Some of them will be placed on a wait list.
You may not be able to answer this question. If for some reason that did become a thing, would this plan, as far as what you know of it now, meet the criteria to access the points to be on the list?
They have not filled out the allocation criteria yet. They have to either provide jobs or some other benefit to the community to qualify. I'll have to see what they're proposing when site plan comes along and they fill out the criteria.
We'd like to add a couple of points of clarity to some earlier questions. Our ordinance does define short-term rental as 90 days or less. So we would hold our hat onto that if we were to ever check like an occupancy list or who's in the park. That is pretty standard across the board, but our ordinance specifically defines short-term rentals 90 days or less. In terms of the sites having permanent fixtures like a deck or sheds, no, that would not be permitted at all. The principal use of the site is RV, and that's for the entire property, what's proposed. But individual, anything beyond a gravel pad or concrete hard surfaces and picnic tables or anything like that provided by the park operator, the town would not be permitting any kind of decks, stairwells, sheds, or anything like that, because those are permanent and thereby contrary to what is being requested.
Anyone else have any questions concerning any public comment?
You know, I'm hearing this all about the sewage and about the sewage. Water is coming from Surf City, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, what happens on July 4th, the last several years here? At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there is just drips coming out of our faucets. I think we need to remember this, and we need to make sure we don't strain our infrastructure any more than it already is. And Alicia, I really feel good that you brought up about it's still cars. And I think we need to be assured that they could not stay for longer than, I think you need to put a restriction of 30 days. RV parks have that everywhere. If you want to stay a month, you have to leave for a week and come back for a month. That would make sure that there isn't an RV with children in it. Because a lot of people now live in them. So I think you've brought up some really rational and realistic concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
David? Is there any concerns from your department if this was to be approved that would create lack of volume or pressure on our water system, or is there anything up and coming in place that would mitigate that if that were a potential?
Yes, sir. As you know, the public may not, our water plant can produce 2.6 million gallons a day. Our year-round average is 800,000. Our all-time high was 2 million. The problem that I've heard is a transmission problem, not a production problem. As you know, we have one water main that crosses onto the island. We have a bid opening this Thursday to get that replaced and hopefully be under construction here in 2 months. If everything goes good Thursday, I don't want to speak for the bidders. So that will mitigate that. Going the opposite way from our water plant toward Highway 17, we have a much larger line for future growth, which is a 16-inch line, which is only a 10-inch line that feeds the island. I do not see any problem with water with this project.
And when you say transmission problem, is that pumps or is that the size of the pipe that we're getting ready to replace to make a larger pipe onto
Size
the
of the
island?
pipe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, David. Are there any other public comments from anybody in the audience that would like to come? Yes. Please come up and state your name and address, please. Nope, sorry.
Jordan, 110 Seahorse. I just want to speak to the sewer and septic. I think if the property owner is ready to take that burden on and put the septic in and not, put the burden on our sewer since we're having so much problems, I think that would be, in the advantage of the town. That's it.
Does anyone else have any public comments concerning the rezoning? Conditional rezoning the station/Mars. If there are no other comments during this public hearing, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close this public hearing, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It is requested that the town council consider approval of the conditional rezoning as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
Please raise your hand if you said no. We have 2 noes and 2 yeses. So that's going to be me.
That's you.
That's going to be me. It's only happened, my second time as mayor happening, so. And I'm going to vote yes. I'm going to vote yes because I feel that, I don't have to give an explanation, but I feel that it is less impact on our community. So I'm going to vote yes. So motion carries. Do I have a motion? That is the motion. We carry. Okay. Next item up is number 5, conditional rezoning on Medlin. And Jeremy will present us again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Let me get to my notes real quick. This is the larger of the staff reports. It is a bigger tract of land for a more intense development, not a bigger tract of land.
Can I bring something up before we get started? I've done this, I brought this up before, so I already know the answer, Brett. Just for everyone, I own a piece of property that touches this piece of property. I got no skin in the game. There's no benefit, there's no monetary, there's no anything. But I know some people are gonna know and they may, am I in conflict of interest?
No, you're not. In fact, it's great you disclose that, but you have a duty to vote on items that you don't have a conflict.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Jeremy.
No worries. Thank you for asking. Thank you again, Ms. Mayor, members of the council. This is a proposed rezoning from R15 residential district, R5 townhouse residential district, neighborhood business zoning district, and mixed use zoning district to mixed use conditional zoning. Several of these properties have been subject of annexations over the last few months. There was possibly a future addendum to that with a project that 2 properties you annexed tonight and consequently zoned neighborhood business that could develop in the future under that neighborhood business. But if this rezoning goes through tonight, they would be on the hook to bring back a modified plan to incorporate that in here. But staff has told them that, they could still develop it under the neighborhood business. If this zoning goes through, they could develop it under the neighborhood business and tie into this project. But into the request tonight is on 5 parcels of land totaling approximately 46.4 acres. The property is located on NC Highway 50, close to the Belt Road, Mill Creek intersection. The properties, again, currently are zoned R15, R5, mixed use, and neighborhood business. They are bound to the southwest by properties in Pender County jurisdiction. One property where the Moose Lodge is located is zoned O and I. The other property is residential performance. Other than where the Moose Lodge is and the RVs they have on site, the remaining part of that property is undeveloped. The property to the north of that is undeveloped. It does just tip at the corner to the property owned by Pender County School Board, home of Surf City Elementary and Middle School. Properties to the north are all zoned residential performance in Pender County's jurisdiction. They are a combination of undeveloped tracts and single family. To the west to the east along NC 50 is property zoned mixed use. And then there are a number of properties used for a combination of single family residential and some commercial uses, again, in Pender County's zoning jurisdiction. This request is for a mixed use development. And I'm going to skip real quick to the concept plan, which identifies a number of commercial buildings and then buildings that are commercial or office with residential above, and then a 67-unit townhome development to the rear of the site. Conditions that they have submitted with this request, and when I say they, that is the owner, Mr. Doug Medlin. He has worked with his engineer, McKeeman Creed, to develop this project. They are proposing conditions related to a traffic impact analysis is and will be required for site plan approval. The maximum story of any building will be 3. They will install the section of multi-use path along this site, along NC 50. A recombination plat to be submitted combining all the parcels into one. And then subsequently, they would have to go through subdivision approval for any subsequent residential single-family development. Limited uses are those tied to the conditional plan, and they are outlined in your staff report and on the plan. Just in an effort not to read a long list. If you have any questions about those uses, I'll be happy to clarify. And one final condition, and this was actually added on when the planning board reviewed it at their November 13th meeting, and that was the order of development. This is a mixed-use development, and they had asked the applicant at that time if they would be amenable to this condition, and that was to identify 3 phases. A phase 1, which would be the 3 commercial buildings along NC 50, residential to follow up in phase 2, and then the remaining developments to be a phase 3. And the TIA subsequently would be prepared that way in terms of full build out. Backing up to the future land use map as part of our comprehensive land use plan, the property is identified as the 2 large tracts are identified as mainland residential, with the other remaining tracts identified as neighborhood mixed use. Properties to the north, east, and south and west are all identified as mainland residential. As I mentioned before, the planning board heard this at their November 13th meeting and have recommended, along with staff, finding that policies 3.2A, 3.2K, 4.1A, 4.1Q, 5.1B, 5.1I, and 5.1J support this requested rezoning of the 46.40 acres to mixed-use conditional zoning. Representatives of the applicant, Mr. Doug Medlin and McKeeman Creed, are in attendance that will be happy to answer any questions that the board has along with staff.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open this public hearing.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to open the public hearing. At this time, you have an option to, or opportunity to come up and address the council with your public comments. If any of council has any questions.
I have a couple. I know planning board had discussed with the property owner to phase the commercial portion in, since given their allocation for sewer, they're able to get in because there's a 30-70 split of commercial and residential. If that's based on square footage, and I know this is a preliminary plan, given we have so many people on our residential sewer capacity list, is there a way for us to dictate that they cannot build more than 70% residential prior to completing their commercial portion? So essentially, they should never have 80% of residential and 20% of commercial completed at any given time.
I believe the attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is a reasonable request as part of a rezoning.
They would have to agree to that.
They would have to agree. That's the beauty of a conditional rezoning. But I think that's a reasonable request. They would just have to agree to add that as a condition. So I would let the applicant or their representatives address that.
Is that similar to what the planning board approved with building out the commercial
They kept it just to the 3 residential, to the 3 commercial along the front. I do not know the numbers game there.
But we don't know the ratio.
I didn't know what the percentage would be. I didn't know. That's what I was asking. I guess I asked it wrong.
I haven't-
Does that
And we don't
percentage weigh
have,
out to what the planning board recommended?
we don't have an actual site plan with dimensions necessarily
No,
on it yet
and-
either. So those 3 buildings up front could come in at 10,000 square feet, and they could have way more residential in the back.
They've
So-
identified square footages on the concept plan, but they could reduce, they could shrink down in size, and then that throws that numbers game out. But that, I will want to let the applicant address that, because that just digs into some things that I'm not comfortable trying to figure out on the fly.
Good evening, Council. Richard Collier, McKinnon Creed, 243 North Front Street in Wilmington. I just spoke with Mr. Medlin. We are fine with that. He is phasing the project in from the street, so those first 3 buildings there, I don't know if you can see the letters or not, but the 3 pink ones along the road and the drive-in and the stormwater pond would be constructed first. That plus, that is close to the 30% number. If he needs to add in another building, he will do that so that they're not out of balance. He is fine keeping the balance the way you stated it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So just for clarification, I believe that would then replace that condition that the planning board added and correct and change it to a 30/70 determination. And the size of these developments and the combination, the council will see this again in the site plan form. It will have to come back in front of the board for approval.
Tom, is there any other public comment?
I don't think we opened the public hearing yet.
Okay.
Did we open it? Okay, I thought we did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's stop there. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
We did. I thought we did. Okay. We did it twice. There's been a lot. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We did it twice.
Madam Mayor, just one question. It's probably for the attorney to make sure I understand. We're going to take out the one comment for the condition from the planning board that removes the phasing of the development and then add in the 70-30 rule against residential and commercial?
Yeah, Jeremy, can you speak to that? You were talking about removing the phasing.
And this, maybe it should be an additional.
That I would think it'd be an addition, so we could keep the phasing
Okay.
and then the 30/70.
That was a point of clarity because we'll have to redraft the ordinance that the mayor signs if it's approved. So I will add that condition.
Just adding a condition, that's correct.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other public comments concerning the conditional rezoning on the Medlin tract? Now's your time for any public comment concerning the conditional rezoning. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, Mayor.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to close the public hearing. It is requested at this time that the town council consider approval of the conditional rezoning with keeping the phasing and adding the conditions as presented.
I'll make a motion to do just that, Mayor.
I'll second.
So I get tongue-tied if I answer all that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Mr. Collier.
Thank you.
Mr. Collier. Hold on a minute. It's not business-related, people. He and his brother work together, and I'm going to introduce him to my wife and tell him a story about his brother after we leave, if he's got a minute. It's nothing secret.
Okay. If you want to hang out, I don't know if you were getting ready to dip out, but it sounds like you need to.
If you have to go, go, but if you got a few minutes.
Hang out for a few minutes.
Be at the city of Wilmington at 6:30.
What time is it?
Or something like that. So they're swearing in there tonight and not home.
Okay.
Don't hold up on me. If we finish up, it'll take 2 minutes. If you got to go, you rock on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you.
All right, so at this time, we are going to move into old business, which there is none. So new business is the swearing-in ceremony of our two elected officials, which will be Hugh Cannady and Andy Plyle. I think we'll let Hugh Cannady, if your family's here, if you want to bring them up and come forward, whoever's with you tonight, and we'll come down. I state your name.
I, Hugh Cannady,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authority
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, I'll call up Mr. Andy Plyle. You would place your right. And raise your left and right. There you go.
I know my left from my right.
Okay. I state your name.
I, Andy Plyle,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina,
to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional power and authority
which are or may be established
which or
Are.
may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Mr. Andy Plow will seat with us up front.
Look, I have a name.
It's magic.
We're ready.
Thanks, John.
Our next item is item number 7, Code of Ethics Resolution, and Carla will present.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the Code of Ethics that was recently adopted earlier this year. Just good practice to adopt it again after each election and have each member sign it. So no changes there.
No changes. It is requested that the town council consider approval of the resolution as presented if there are no questions. Hearing none, do I have a motion to move forward?
I'll make a motion to move forward, Mayor.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve the Code of Ethics. Next, item number 8, election of Mayor Pro-Tem per the NCGS 160A-63.
I'd like to nominate Hugh Cannady for Mayor Pro Tem. Make a motion to nominate Hugh Cannady.
I have a motion to nominate Hugh Cannady as Mayor Pro Tem.
Need a second.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Just to clarify, motion to nominate him or a motion to approve him as the mayor pro tem?
I think we have to nominate him first.
Are you going through the nomination part? That's fine.
Right?
Yep, and then there will be a second vote on
Yeah.
approval. Yes, that's fine.
I have a motion to nominate Hugh Cannady as Mayor Pro Tem, and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those no, say aye. Same sign? Okay. A lot of motions tonight. All right, so we had a motion to appoint. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Motion has been approved. Thank you, Kennedy.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, John. Ms. Trudy, Kyle.
Our next item is item number 9, resolution of bid acceptance on Roland Infiltration Project. And David Price, our Utilities Director, will present.
Council, in your package is a continuation of a long-standing project called Resilience Coastal Communities Program that we've been reducing flooding. This is what's helped us with our recent success at Seahorse. This is the next phase that's going to tackle Roland Avenue right by the main beach access, very similar to what we did at Seahorse. We had a bid opening and the bids came back good. We received a grant for this in mid-2024 for $331,000. This is the first phase of this particular grant money to take care of Roland Avenue and Mecklenburg Avenue. Staff recommends approval of accepting the bid, so they may go ahead and start work in January.
Anyone have any questions?
So this is the same thing that we did down on South Shore Drive, right? The same construction, the pavers, the drain?
On Seahorse, not on further down on South Shore. It's a little bit of a design.
All right, it's the same design.
On Seahorse.
Okay.
Inside the curve of South Shore, yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've done several projects on South Shore. I just want a point of clarification.
Yeah, okay. And the 331, did we already spend 187 on that project?
No, sir, that came from a different grant.
Got it. Okay. And then there's a third project that is going to come out of this grant as well?
No, sir. We have 4 projects that are slated with 2 pots of money. One was Seahorse that came out of a different grant that was $560,000. Charlotte Avenue is grouped with that project. The Seahorse project is grouped with Mecklenburg. So this 331,000 will pay for Mecklenburg and for Roland Avenue.
All right, and that will be enough to pay for the 2?
Yes, sir. We are attempting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We have not bid out or negotiated Mecklenburg Avenue yet, but we are planning to subsidize that with town labor if we need to.
All right. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I have one question, but it's not this. How much total grant funding have we gotten for the stormwater project so far?
I have the number calculated. I don't have it on the top of my head, but a fairly substantial amount.
If I had to estimate, probably 400,000, 2.5, about 2.5 million.
Just want to say thanks. Good job.
Thank you.
For sure.
If we don't have any other questions, it is requested that the town council consider approval of the resolution as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries to approve. Thank you.
I'd like to make one quick comment on that last topic since it's over with. I'm very excited about these people in Mecklenburg getting the opportunity to get this stormwater project. I used to live over there years ago, and as development come, your stormwater would just get, and now it goes and it just sits under those people's houses. I'm sorry they've had to wait so long, but I'm very excited to see what that project turns out to be. It'll be I'm sure they're excited also. That's just all I wanted to say. That I know they're having a problem down there.
Thank you. Next item, item number 10, Hampton Inn site plan. And Jeremy, you've just been in the hot seat tonight.
That's the life of a planner. Kyle can attest. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Before you is an administrative review and consideration of a proposed major site plan for a Hampton Inn hotel. This project is located on parcel H of the Promenade Shopping Center. Notice the vicinity map before you, directly adjacent to the Walmart neighborhood market. Near the proposed future Coretta Drive extension, and to the south, the recently completed phase 2 of Bishop Hudson's Creek apartment complex. This requested site plan comes in the shape of a 2.22 acre tract of land zoned C3 extended commercial, where hotels and motels are permitted uses by right. The proposal is for a 65,441 square foot, 110 room hotel. The site plan was submitted by the Surf City Hotel Group, represented by Jack and John Sandlin. Again, the parcel is zoned C3, as is the entirety of the Promenade Shopping Center. The Camo land use plan, future land use designation of this and all adjacent properties is regional mixed use, with the apartment complex to the south designated as neighborhood mixed use. Before you on the screen is the site plan and landscape plan. Project identifies 111 parking spaces. They will have the appropriate amount of bike parking at this time. It is 1 per 10 spaces parking that would have to be submitted. Before you on the screen is proposed elevations of the Hampton Inn. The TRC has reviewed this request, and it made its way to the planning board at their November 13th meeting, and they have recommended approval. So this is up for your consideration tonight. Staff and the applicant will be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Can you give us the definition of by right again?
By right is permitted outright by the zoning district. Meaning is as long as they meet the standards outlaid by the town, the city, or the town, the county and the state, any that have the regulations impacting a site plan design, there generally is not a basis for denial, unless there is a substantial health and safety issue. But as the community development director, it would not be here if there was a health and safety issue. It wouldn't be in front of this board. It wouldn't have made it to the planning board. But it is a use by right. It is in front of this board for consideration because of the procedure outlined in your adopted zoning ordinance. Major site plan, in this case, is the project is over 20,000 square foot in building, so therefore it requires a council approval. Thank you.
Anyone have any question?
Yeah. Is it in any way tied to the future build-out of Coretta Drive?
It is not, but we conveyed during TRC and discussing with planning board that when proximity apartments comes through with their design, we will work with them in trying to connect to the stub out and deeded access that they will provide to this property to the best way possible. If possible, there is some non-jurisdictional wetlands in the area that could prevent that. But they are providing a cross-access easement as required by ordinance.
One last thing, following up on the mayor's question of by right. This is at C3 extended. Was that, and I'm not necessarily asking you specifically when it was zoned, but it has been zoned, I'm going to assume it's been zoned, that's what it's zoned now, as long as that Walmart's been there.
Yes, at least since 2009, 2010 timeframe.
With the lot coverage, permeable surface, I know this one covers more.
Yes, so their proposal is at 70,000 square feet proposed impervious surface. Staff reviewed this and actually brought it up during TRC through some investigation and discussions with the author of the town's zoning ordinance and looking at vesting rules and recent approvals as part of the Promenade Shopping Center and the recent renewal of their stormwater permit. To give you a sequence of events, the original Promenade overall development was approved around 2010. They had TIA development. They installed a traffic light. They've done significant development to the site over the years. However, vesting does have a 7-year limitation. But that was renewed in 2022 when their stormwater plan expired and they got a renewal through the state for a new stormwater permit, and then subsequently out parcel G, where the Indian Cuisine and the Driftwood Restaurant are and the D&B office are, renewed that vesting. So they are still valid under a vesting that captures the original lot coverage allowed under the previous zoning ordinance. And to add clarity to that, prior to 2024 adoption of the new zoning ordinance, lot coverage was defined as buildings only. When the new zoning ordinance was adopted in November 2024, lot coverage changed from buildings only to buildings and any paved surfaces. So they are still within that 70,000 that the site was originally developed for. Discussion for permeable concrete was discussed with them. It would take a significant redesign and impact the stormwater permitting for the entire site. And so that's why we investigated that vesting.
Anyone else have any questions?
So a part of that lot has some wetlands in it, right?
I believe so.
Non-jurisdictional.
It's non-jurisdictional, so it could be developed.
And the intent is to fill those wetlands in?
Yes, they were, really wish I had a John Madden marker. They are, and this may go away talking with the developers, but right now the site plan is being proposed and approved with a retaining wall that would go here that would be built up on the site. It's not in a floodplain. It is not any kind of overlay, so they can bring in fill and build up the site. But like any development, their stormwater design has to be contained and maintained on their site or funnel into the current stormwater pond that's there.
Okay, so they have an engineered stormwater plan?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Hearing none, it is requested that the Town of Surf City Town Council consider approval of the site plan as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented, Mayor.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion to approve. Hampton's Inn. Thank you. All right, next item is the budget ordinance amendment, Shop with a Cup. And our famous chief of police is heading up here right now.
I don't know how famous I am.
You're pretty famous.
Okay. Anyway, good evening. It's good to see everybody. Good to be here. As most of you know, every November, the police department does a fundraiser called No Shave November, where we relax our grooming standards and let officers grow beards in lieu of donations. We also take donations from other town employees, businesses, and citizens in town. And what we have before you is a budget ordinance amendment so we can appropriate those donations so we can expend them. This year we raised $3,225. That money goes directly back to kids in our community. It doesn't go anywhere else. Those kids are picked by the SRO and admin at our school, and they come directly from our school. We take them shopping, which will be on Saturday, and then any monies that are left over, we provide holiday meals for needy families that are identified by the school also. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but I need a vote and for it to be approved, so Melissa can move the monies and we can spend them on Saturday.
Awesome. Good job.
I'd like to make that motion to go ahead and approve the movement of the money.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion is approved.
Awesome. Thank you.
Go buy those kids some toys.
All right, we will.
I shaved this morning.
All right. This time we have the manager's report. Kyle Brewer will present.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening, council, and the public that are out here and those that are watching online. Just want to start off by saying congratulations to both Councilman or Mayor Pro-Tem Cannady and Councilman Plyle. Certainly look forward to working with you and all the board for the benefit of the citizens of the town. And even though he's not here, I feel like I'd be remiss to not recognize Councilman Shugarts, and as it was a pleasure to work alongside him and to get to know him and his family during his time and my time here in Surf City. Moving on to the facilities expansion project, Town Council heard a positive report from our contractor, DR Reynolds, at our last work session on both the Public Utilities Building and Station 25 projects. Both projects are on track with demolition and utility work being completed at the Public Utilities Building and site work beginning at Station 5. The steel has been delivered for that building addition out there, so things are going to be moving pretty quickly over the next several months. We are beginning to kick off our budget season. So this is the fiscal year 26-27 budget. And that will officially kick off on December 9th with our finance director providing a draft outline of dates and responsibilities to department managers. This also includes the introduction of capital project submissions that will be due by the end of December. At your work session this month, I will be bringing criteria that can be applied to assist in prioritizing capital needs based on alignment with adopted town policies and plans, as well as focusing on needs to continue to provide quality services to our residents and visitors. Following the October 29th strategic plan meeting, department managers met last month to go through a similar exercise looking at external impacts to the town and organization, as well as working through our own internal SWOT analysis. These inputs will be grouped and we'll continue our work to begin drafting policy to bring to the board during your January retreat. We are in the beginning stages of planning that event and we'll be seeking input to finalize the agenda and expected outcomes of our meetings. Those will be held here in Surf City at the end of January. Next on our sort of calendar is legislative priorities. So staff is in the process of evaluating the town's current legislative priorities, and we'll bring a draft list for both state and federal items to include both legislation and potential appropriation requests. I will ask for the board to affirm these priorities so that we may begin communicating them with our elected officials an anticipated state legislative calendar for the long session that will begin in February. So over the next couple of months, we'll be talking about that. Want to give a overview of multi-use path efforts. So segment 1, following council's approval to amend the budget for segment 1, the town's consultant will begin the design of the footbridge parallel to NC 210 over Becky's Creek. This is an integral part of the segment and necessary for the overall connection of the system. Once that is completed, we will continue to work towards the 75% plans over the next several months, progressing the project towards final cost estimating and bid documents. And as a reminder, segment 1 goes from Magnolia Reserve to Deer Run or Station 25 Fire Department. Segment 5, this is the J.H. Batts Road segment. Our friend Mr. Rice is not in the audience, I don't think. But the town has received preliminary bid documents and project plans for this segment of the project, connecting NC 50 to Community Center Drive. These are under review and coordination is being worked on with a development project along this route. Once things are finalized, we will put the project out to bid and get working. Due to timing, we may be pushing into the busier summer season and we'll need to make a decision on construction timing, especially as we prepare the bid documents. At this point, in my opinion, it's in the town's best interest to get the project bid and constructed as soon as possible to provide the much-needed bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure along J.H. Batts Road and connecting the park over to NC 50. As Mr. Price had mentioned, the Waterline Resilience Project that will bring a new water line under the intercoastal waterway to the island and replacing the pipeline along North Shore Drive has been advertised for a rebid due to receiving no formal bids. The updated bid date is scheduled for this Thursday, and really the tactic in which Mr. Price and our consultants had looked at was loosening some of the restrictions on construction as we get into some very difficult situations, especially in the heart of downtown and replacing waterline projects. So with no bids being received, we're going to have to look at some innovative ways to get contractors interested in the project. So we'll see what comes out of this Thursday's bid opening. Just wanted to give an update on or reiterate some information that we had received about our island roundabout. So NCDOT gave a presentation to the board at their last meeting regarding findings from their express design process to seek efficiencies, especially during busy holiday and summer weekends. Recommendations focused on the removal of pedestrian crossings within the roundabout and pushing those outward to Roland and south to High Point Avenue. Additional considerations of potentially including a metered ramp signal and opening South Topsail Drive to Roland Avenue were also discussed. These projects will be submitted into the State Transportation Improvement Program for prioritization and funding. In the meantime, the town has applied for grant funding to install a rapid flashing beacon sign for the pedestrian crossing at Roland and North New River as part of a larger project, and if selected for funding, NCDOT would manage that project in its entirety for the installation. NCDOT has also proposed a potential option to establish a pilot project to bring in a portable traffic light that can be programmed in a similar fashion as the ramp meter that they had proposed. They continue to do their research on this initiative as it has not been utilized in North Carolina to date, so we would be the first sort of pilot project. And when they had mentioned that, they did document that this would most likely come in the off-season if we were able to implement that to kind of get a test run to see how that would work. And really the concept of it would be to allow traffic moving north on South Shore to enter that roundabout so we don't get that log jam on South Shore. Our Vitex project, again, I mention this all the time, is I can't stress enough for oceanfront property owners to please visit the Topsail and Shoreline Protection Commission's website at tispc.org or direct your friends that own property along the ocean front to learn more about the project and to sign the property owner acknowledgement form. Contractors will be back in the spring, and without the proper approvals, they will not be able to treat Vitex on those properties that have been identified. So again, this is extremely important for the island, for the health of our dune system, especially as we prepare for a major beach nourishment project. So we want to make sure our existing infrastructure is in the best shape that it possibly can be. And then lastly, just wanted to kind of highlight Christmas, and the town again celebrated another successful tree lighting with a great turnout for the event. It's been said before, especially by mayor and council, but I'd also like to recognize all the staff that puts in so much work, hard work to make this happen and to grow each year by offering new activities, and also our committees and committee members that come out and volunteer to help the town. It truly does come together every year, even with new staff, and everybody kind of learns from each other. So just wanted to thank all the hands that go into making that happen. Continuing on with the season, this Saturday, the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department, along with Topsail Surf and Cycle, will be hosting a Christmas ride with Santa from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Earl G. and Inez Batts Recreation Complex. This is pretty cool. You get to ride your bike with Santa Claus. I've never heard of this, but I'm excited to take part in that. So please come out if you can and you're able, and take part in that event. And then lastly, I'd just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season, and shop local if you can, please. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to let our newest member, Andy Plow, lead us off of and cancel
Wow.
tonight. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was great to see all you folks here. Thanks for coming out to witness one of my more memorable events in my life. My wife has left, so it's right behind the wedding ceremony 43 years ago. I appreciate everyone coming out to vote, expressing your willingness to use a little bit of your time to hopefully make our town just a little bit better, and I hope to do that. And I'll maintain my website, andyforsurcity.com. You can always send me a note there. You can text me, and apparently I now have business cards and a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! And you all have my personal phone number as well. So I'm open to listening and working with you and working with council to drive us forward to even greater successes than we've had in the past. So thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Okay.
John Koloski.
Yes. I'd like to congratulate you and Andy. Welcome aboard, Andy. You've been here for a while, so you know what the deal is. I'd like to just touch on Christmas tree lighting on that day. I was there for most of the day, got there early in the morning. Our Parks and Rec department and a lot of the volunteers that helped put that together really worked hard. They really did a lot of work, came out really good. The Lewis and Clark, who sang the Christmas songs, I think was outstanding. And I'd just like to reach out again to the departments that had something to do with it. I know Chris worked hard on doing a lot of the decorations that were designed by our new Parks and Rec director, and his staff designed them, and I think it was a good viewing of what the park used to be to what it is now and what it will be in the future as they do design more stuff, because they told me more stuff is coming, and I said, okay, that was great, but they did a great job. And that's all I got.
Thank you, John.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Don't forget that John also shares Jesus' birthday, December 25th.
Good company.
All right, Trudy Solomon.
Oh, okay. I thought you're just mixing it up. So I appreciate everyone being here tonight. And I did want to start off by saying this was shared in social media, but I did want to certainly take the moment that I have on a microphone here to recognize that Miss Jean Beasley passed away last night. And she was 90 years old, and she was the founder of the Sea Turtle, the Karen Beasley Sea Turtle Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. Anyway, and I've been working with the Topsail Turtle Project for about 15 years, and Miss Jean had moved away to live with her son, and we've missed her being here on the island. She still has her home here, but she hasn't been able to be here in the past couple of summers, even though I know she really has wanted to. And so it's just she was just an incredible lady, and I just wanted to take a moment to make sure everybody had that news and awareness. And of course, the Turtle Hospital is very important to our community, and also taking care of the dunes and beaches that we do. So I just needed to take that moment. So I'm sure that anyone would appreciate. She would appreciate any donations to the Sea Turtle Hospital. That's all privately funded. So, also, I appreciate public comment time when people come and share what's on their minds. And I did. I'm certainly not, stunned that Mr. John Kennedy would come and speak about the e-bikes. I think I hear about that a lot, and I hope we can try to make some progress on that. I know that many of us talk to children and youth in the community to help them just make some smarter choices. And I don't want any of us to have an unfortunate situation with that. So I hope we can make some progress on that. And Mickey, thank you for sharing the Christmas lights. I do want to say the park looks amazing. Talking about the Christmas tree lighting, I think that the department did an amazing job, and they increased the lights out there. I had several people who appreciated the arches and the lighting among the rails and all that. So as long as we keep communicating about these things, we will continue to the Christmas lights. We talked about how beautiful Calfin is, and it just really puts you in the Christmas spirit. So I will continue to work on that, and I think it's important to so many of us, because living here for so long, and I live over on the island, it would be so dark and gloomy, and none of my neighbors live here full time, and so it would get kind of creepy at night with no one's house lit up. So I really relied on the Christmas lights to make me feel like I didn't live in isolation by myself. But I mean, I have a few more neighbors now. So, but I also want to reiterate what Kyle said. Let's please shop local. We have many wonderful restaurants and shops that we value, and we're thrilled that people have taken the leap to create a business here, and we want to certainly support them. And I know some of them get most of their revenue during the summer, so it's up to us to support them in the off season. And Christmas is a great time to do that. And I'm proud of Andy and Hugh being elected, and I know we've chosen to have Hugh as our Mayor Pro-Tem. And this is my last comment, but not the least by any means. I had wanted to nominate John Koloski also. He has done so much, and I just it's somebody who's going to take care of things when Teresa's not available, and we need that person and have that person appointed, so there's no confusion in that matter. But I do want to just commend John for always being present at everything. Y'all, he shows up for everything, and I just think that's admirable. I know some of us talked about Mayor Pro Tem and who could be available, and this job just takes up more time than most people realize. And Andy, you'll figure that out. And but I just wanted to comment that we're in good hands working together in all projects. But I do appreciate John was out there at the park, like he said, decorating and doing everything, and his efforts are something that I can't come close to, and his attendance and dedication is just needs to be recognized.
Thank you, Trudy. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming out. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and we'll have a Merry Christmas. Reminder that January's meeting time is 6 o'clock, like everybody asked for. So please make sure we have great attendance tonight. Hopefully we'll have that next month as well. And as always, I think all of us do our best to be available to citizens as much as possible. You may not always get the decision that you want, but I can guarantee you that we are listening. We don't always agree, obviously, but that's important, I think, always to have different opinions up here, because not everybody in our tiny town sees things the same way either. So there's not always a right or wrong. It's okay to see things differently, and that's the beauty of us, and that's kind of what makes us our city. We're different, but we all love each other. So that's it.
And our Mayor Pro Tem, Hugh Cannady.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate Andy for being elected to the board. I am very excited that election season is over. We'll get back to some sense of normalcy. I'm very excited about we call it a new board, even though I was on the board last year, been seated, so we have a new board. I'm very excited to see how this new board progresses and what we're able to accomplish. I'd like to thank the citizens of Surf City that had enough confidence in me to elect me back on the board. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the board themselves for appointing me as Mayor Pro-Tem. Thank you for that. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a great holidays. I'm looking forward to Christmas. I agree with everybody else. The tree lighting was, I mean, it always is what it is. It's just a great time. And if I don't see you before then, have a Merry Christmas. Thank you again.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to go to the town attorney real fast because I skipped. I always, like, you just hide over there. I miss you.
I tried not to be heard, so I have nothing, no comment tonight. Thank you. Nothing to report.
You got a good suntan. Okay. Thank you for coming. I know it's, the beginning of the holiday season, and our community is all about kindness and taking a moment to appreciate the blessings around us, and I truly appreciate this town. It is a loving, kind town to where the people that work for the town of Surf City, that our first responders, our staff, our volunteers, our local businesses, all of you that support and lift up everyone in our town is truly amazing when it comes down to a time of need, and when, just like the police officers having to grow, some hair on their face for a short time. $3,225. It's going to go a long ways for some children in our community. So thank you very much for what you do. The tree lighting was magical. They've never gave me the clicker before. And they gave me the clicker. The pastor was there with me too, and I was like, I've never held a clicker. I don't know if Doug has ever held a clicker, but I've never been in charge of the clickers. So, but the countdown starts, and bam, it doesn't go off, and we're just like, okay. Well, you know what? It didn't happen in my time. It didn't happen in our time. It happened in God's time. It was God's plan for that tree to come on when it did. So. Thank you, Jesus, for letting the tree come on. I was holding my breath.
Yeah, we all were.
But for those that, that did come out, the weather was absolutely awesome that night, and we really appreciate all the families and friends of the community that came out and showed their support and their love for our community and had a great time. Our Bella did a fantastic job, along with Frank and her whole department. Bella, stand up. Bella did an amazing job. Thank you. John Kennedy, the e-bikes, your message does not, every one of us feel it every day. I hold my breath. The police department, I can tell you they are on it. I will, it is unbelievable of just, I know when you come to a crosswalk, stop me if I'm wrong, Chief, a crosswalk, a true crosswalk. The bike, you need to get off your bike. You need to get off your bike. If you're going through a true crosswalk, you get off your bike, you walk your bike across that crosswalk. Like I say, it is on our minds, and it does not go unnoticed when someone says that, and we are doing everything we can to try to get a hold on it. But they do zip in and out behind buildings, and before you know it, unfortunately, sometimes someone gets hurt, and we don't want that to happen here. So, and for the Christmas lights again, for, on the island, off the island, I think for the last couple of years, we try to replace what was there and, just shine as you're coming. Hey, when you turn right here at McDonald's, hey, I'm in Surf City. I'm going somewhere special. I'm going to cross that island, and I'm going to be somewhere special. And you are, and we want everybody to feel that way. So, moving forward, hopefully we can, do a little bit more down South Shore Drive. or down South Topsail Drive. We've been trying to keep them on the main roads, on the South Shore Drive or South Topsail Drive and New River Drive, so that they are on state roads and that no one feels left out when they're coming home in the evenings to the island and they see Surf City. So congratulations again to Hugh Cannady and Andy Plow. We appreciate it. And last time, I just want to say Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you for all that you do for the town of Surf City. And at this time, I'm going to have request a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session, Mayor.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We'll go in closed session. Do I have a motion to come out of closed session?
I'll make a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We're out of closed session. No action was taken during closed session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.